I've had many cinema rigs in my career. I've made them from a Sony a6300, a6600. I've had a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema. I've rigged that out. But nothing excites me more than having this cinema rig right here. This is my Sony FX30 cinema rig. So we can get into the whole fuss and fuss about, is the FX3 better? Is the FX30 better? It doesn't really matter these days. There's not a camera out there that's not a good camera, but let's go over some of the specs for the FX30 real quick. I've made a video about the FX30 before. You can check it out right here. And then we're gonna go over this rig piece by piece. I'm gonna be reading it over here, so if I look off of camera, then you know. The Sony FX30 has a 26 megapixel APS-C sensor, a Super 35 sensor. Its max resolution is 4K, but that's an oversampled 6K image. So it's a 6K image condensed down to 4K, which makes it look phenomenal. You can get full HD, 1080p up to 240 frames per second. You can do 4K at 120 frames per second with a little bit of cropping. All the different color profiles, the S-Log 3s, S-Cinetone, HLG, HDR, you name it. This is all built into this little camera body right here. You've got 10-bit 422 internal recording. This thing has dual card slots, so you can put normal SD cards in there, but you can also put the C-Fast Express cards type A in there, which in turn gives you much faster write speeds. In-body stabilization, you've got these fans in this camera with these vents that make it cool down so that it can record in these higher resolutions. And the beauty of this camera is that it comes in at a whopping $1,800. That's it for all of those specs. And with the XLR handle, which I have right here, it comes in at a whopping $2,200. But we're going to talk about this guy in a little bit. Now, I've used this camera for many projects. I recently finished filming a documentary in Mount Dora about the Van Gogh house with my buddy Lee Montels. We just wrapped filming, so now he's moving on to the editing process. And my camera, the Sony FX30, was used as a B camera, which was awesome. So let's talk about all the components that make this Sony FX30 the cinema rig that it is. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of this, and let's talk about the Sony XLR H1 top handle unit for the FX30. This is an XLR unit that connects via hot shoe straight to the camera. So you don't have to have any wires hooked up to it. You just need to go into the menu, configure where you want your audio to go to. And the beauty of it is that because it's made for the FX30 and the FX3, you can literally just use the 1/4-inch mounts to screw it in. But I have a little bit of reinforcement here to kind of help with holding this unit while also giving it reinforcement from snapping off in case this camera falls or anything like that. So I got the small rig extension mount plate for the Sony FX30 XLR handle with a cold shoe on the back of it. But this basically is used for me to be able to grip a little bit better onto this handle while also being able to connect a few more accessories to this camera. The cool thing about this handle is that it feeds 48 volts to my shotgun mic, so that's perfect for any type of shotgun mic that you're using. And so with that, I am using the Sennheiser MKE 600 shotgun mic. And this microphone didn't really fit all that great in the microphone holder. It was just a little bit loose. So I had to buy these rubber spacer tube washers for a shotgun mic that was compatible with it. Super cheap, came in 2 pieces. So I was able to just mount this boy on there. I can't go on without talking about the battery that I'm using, the V-mount battery that I'm using, and it's the Small Rig 99 battery. It gives me so much power through my shoots. I power my monitor with it, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then I run power to my camera via USB-C. So it's always charging the battery that's in there. When I'm not using this battery or when I need it to charge, I'm using this newer PSO 50E 50 watt battery. This is really used as a backup, and it's mostly because if I'm in a pinch or if I've been shooting for 5+, 6+, 7+ hours and I need to charge up the 99, then I will use this battery to give me about an hour or 2 extra and then put the other battery right back on. The way that I'm connecting power to my camera and the way that I am sending HDMI signal to my monitor are with these cables right here. This D-tap one is a Condor Blue 15-inch D-tap. So it goes straight from the V-mount battery via D-tap to my monitor. And this coiled cable here is an HDMI cable that can do up to 4K, 120 Hertz, 60 frames per second if I wanted to, and that feeds an HDMI signal from my camera to my monitor so I don't have to use the flip out screen. And when I have this camera configured in this way, you will most likely see the flip out screen flipped out this way so that I can reach my settings if I needed to. This is a monitor that I've had since, I want to say 2017 or 2018, and it's kind of stuck with me for a long time. It's a pretty simple monitor. I think I bought it for $100. It's the Andy Cine 4K, and it's literally just a 4K monitor. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Eventually, I do plan on upgrading to a Shinobi. So if you want to learn more about the Sony FX30, you can watch this video right up here. This camera is a beast. I love this camera. Unfortunately, the audio port broke on it, and I think it's because I did a shoot at the beach and maybe some sand got in there. So this XLR handle comes in clutch when it comes to capturing audio now, because now I can use things like my shotgun mic, my wireless lav, and not have to worry about using this 1/8-inch adapter or anything like that. The last thing I'll talk about, and it's certainly not least, it's the piece of resistance. It's what's holding this whole kind of thing together, and it's the small rig V-mount battery plate. This thing you can get on Amazon for about $100. The cool thing about this plate is that it can move forward and backward. And then the beauty about this guy too is that if you're not using it, you can just fold it up and put it in your camera bag and you are set to go. And there you have it, folks. That is the Sony FX30 cinema rig. You can find all the pieces for this in the description below. These are non-affiliate links. None of this is sponsored, by the way. And yeah, this has been a fun video to make. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.